You're gonna take? Okay. Okay, Isaiah, and then Mr. Hammer, Miss Riley, Miss Victoria. You're okay. It's fine. All right. Face flags, please. Chin up. 경례. All right. Turn and face me, please. Chin up. 경례. All right, let's warm it up a little bit. Hands in the hips. Rotate your neck side to side. 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, 다섯, 여섯, 일곱, 여덟, 아홉, 열. Up and down. 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, 다섯, 여섯, 일곱, 여덟, 아홉, 열. Rotate your hips. 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, 다섯, 여섯, 일곱, 여덟, 아홉, 열. Other way. 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, 다섯, 여섯, 일곱, 여덟, 아홉, 열. Feet together now. Hands on your knees. Rotate your knees. 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, 다섯, 여섯, 일곱, 여덟, 아홉, 열. Other way. 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, 다섯, 여섯, 일곱, 여덟, 아홉, 열. Spread your feet, two shoulders apart, face right. Touch your head to your leg. Hold that stretch. 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, 다섯, 여섯, 일곱, 여덟, 아홉, 열. And up to the middle now. To the middle. Try and touch your elbows and your forehead to the ground. 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, 다섯, 여섯, 일곱, 여덟, 아홉, 열. And up to the left side. 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, 다섯, 여섯, 일곱, 여덟, 아홉, 열. And good. Sit down for me, please. Legs open up as wide as you can. Turn to your left. Reach over with your right hand. Try and touch your toes. 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, 다섯, 여섯, 일곱, 여덟, 아홉, 열. And up, other side. Same thing. 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, 다섯, 여섯, 일곱, 여덟, 아홉, 열. And up to the middle this time. Try and touch your elbows and your forehead to the ground. 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, 다섯, 여섯, 일곱, 여덟, 아홉, 열. And up. Feet together, legs straight out in front. Reach forward and try and touch your toes. 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, 여섯, 여섯, 일곱, 여덟, 아홉, 열. And up. Good. Bums of the feet together now. Butterfly stretch. Push your knees all the way down. 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, 여섯, 여섯, 일곱, 여덟, 아홉, 열. And good. Stand up, turn around and fix your doboks. Shake out the legs. All right, from here, 준비. Let's go back into fighting stance, key up. All right, from here, blue belts, we're gonna do chunjin step. Chunjin step, front kick off the back leg. Red belts and up, one step jumping front kick off the back leg. One step jumping front. Back fist punch, ready? 하나. Back leg. Turn around, 뒤로 turn. Just right leg kicking. 둘. Turn around, 뒤로 turn. 셋. Just right leg. There you go. 뒤로 turn. 넷. 뒤로 turn. 다섯. There we go. 뒤로 turn. 여섯. 뒤로 turn. Okay, switching feet. 바꿔. Same thing left leg. 하나. 뒤로 turn. 둘. 뒤로 turn. 셋. 뒤로 turn. 넷. 뒤로 turn. 셋. Good. 뒤로 turn. 셋. 뒤로 turn. All right, this time change your kick. Same step. Change your kick to axe kick, please. 내리차기. 내리차기 this time. Ready? 하나. 뒤로 turn. 둘. 뒤로 turn. 셋. 뒤로 turn. 넷. 뒤로 turn. Switching feet. 바꿔. Right leg kicking. 하나. 뒤로 turn. 둘. 뒤로 turn. 셋. 뒤로 turn. 넷. Okay, 뒤로 turn. All right, this time from here, change the kick to 돌려차기. Same step. Change the kick to 돌려차기 this time. Roundhouse kick. 하나. 뒤로 turn. 둘. 뒤로 turn. 셋. 뒤로 turn. 넷. 뒤로 turn. 셋. Jump higher. 뒤로 turn. 셋. 뒤로 turn. Switching feet. 바꿔. 하나. 뒤로 turn. 둘. 뒤로 turn. 셋. 뒤로 전어. 넷. 뒤로 전어. 섯. 뒤로 전어. 섯. 뒤로 전어. All right, this time from here, change the kick to yup chuggy, please. Yup chuggy, same way. Side kick. 하나. 뒤로 전어. 둘. There you go, sir. You got it. 뒤로 전어. Oh, let's not do it then, sir. 셋. 뒤로 전어. 넷. 뒤로 전어. 다섯. 뒤로 전어. 여섯. 뒤로 전어. Switching feet. 발 바꿔. 하나. 뒤로 전어. 둘. 뒤로 전어. 셋. 뒤로 전어. 넷. 뒤로 전어. 여섯. 뒤로 전어. 여섯. 뒤로 전어. All right, this time change the kick to reverse side kick, same way. Reverse side kick. So remember, red belts and up, it's 2 forward steps. Bring the foot forward and then bring the other foot forward into the reverse. Ready? 하나. You had it right. You just needed to extend the kick out. 뒤로 전어. Right leg is still kicking. Ready? 둘. 뒤로 전어. Right leg is still kicking. 셋. Try to jump higher instead of leaning and trying to kick high. 뒤로 전어. Just kick midsection. Just use the jump to create the height. 넷. There you go. Turn around. 뒤로 전어. 셋. Okay, close. Turn around. 뒤로 전어. 셋. So step. Hold that leg up. Hold that leg up and then jump. Yes. Okay, 뒤로 전어. Switching feet. 바꿔. Same thing again. Ready? 하나. Hold it up. And then. 뒤로 전어. 둘. There you go, Miss Riley. You got it. Good. 뒤로 전어. 셋. 뒤로 전어. 넷. 뒤로 전어. 셋. Yep, that's it. There you go. You got it, sir. 뒤로 전어. 셋. 뒤로 전어. Come on. Show. Relax. Take a break. Get some water. That'll be the extent of the jump kicks. So you won't have to do any like stationary jump kicks. It'll just be all the one-step jumping, momentum-based jump kicks. Yeah. Got it. Just leave it. I'm sorry, what was that? Maybe about 2 inches. Yeah, 2, maybe 3. Huh. It was a pretty nasty accident, though. On No, it was actually right on that monument exit. Someone lost it and kind of flipped their car and everything. Yeah. So, and this was 2:30 in the afternoon when it was sunny and everything. So, driving too fast. That's the only thing I can think of, you know. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, haven't put her in that position yet. So, mm, wow. Then you're what? You're shaving your head. Are you donating? Is that what you're doing? Okay. Got it. Okay. I'm always willing to donate. I always cut my hair, but I'm like a chia pet. You just add water and it just kind of comes out. You wore hats though a lot, didn't you? Hmm. Hmm. I mean, even now, like when you run and stuff, do you keep your head covered? Do you keep your head covered? Yeah. So, like all my buddies that wear hats, they're all balding up here, and I'm worried because my dad is bald as well. So I'm thinking, I'm hoping I don't get it, but yeah, his is on the top back side of it. So yeah, yeah. All I know is, like I said, I don't wear hats ever. All right, and because I've noticed that all my friends that have worn hats, that always wear hats outdoors doing stuff, they're all balding. So yeah, I'm sure it does. All right, let's go and take one step back. So we're gonna go into detail with Taekwondo Ojang, Yukjang, Chirchang, and Paichang. So just for you guys. So we'll start with Taekwondo Ojang. 준비. All right, ready. Hana, front stance, low block. 둘, left stance, downward hammer fist. So make sure that your left stance is 2 foot lengths deep. All right. Your feet should look like the letter L. Your legs are straight. No bend in the knee or anything. Hammer fist should be shoulder height. Downward hammer fist. So when you do the downward hammer fist, it comes from the armpit on the inside of the opposite arm. Okay. And then just pivot on your left foot, turn the other side. Hana, front stance, 4 foot lengths deep. Okay. And then right stance. Okay. So once again, 2 foot lengths deep. Left foot steps forward. Yes, 1, 2. Inner block, inner block. Okay. The inner block should be shoulder height. The fist should be shoulder height. 90-degree angle. Ready, set. Front kick, back fist, inner block. So when you do the front kick, as you land, the back fist starts from the belt, opposite waist, belt, up to the nose. Okay, so a lot of times what people do is they come straight to the nose. They do the back fist straight to the nose instead of coming above the head and coming down onto the nose. So that's why you want to raise that you want to show this downward motion. So 1, and then 2, the inner block. 1, 2. Okay, and same thing. Yes, sir. Front kick, back fist, inner block. Good. And then yes, sir. Back fist from the belt. Good. Now turn, pivot on that right foot. Hana, back stance, knife hand block. Back stance is 3 foot lengths deep. 70% of your weight's on the back leg, 30% on the front. Step forward, turning punch. 둘. So this is front stance here. So you want to make sure that the front foot is straight toward the side. All right, and then your elbow strike is going to be at chin height. Okay, so what we're trying to do is you want to imagine trying to do like a hooking punch to your opposite shoulder. Okay, so that's the motion for this elbow strike. Okay, turn to the other side. Hana, back stance, knife hand block. And then once again, turning elbow strike. Front stance. Yes, okay. Okay, now you're going to turn to the back. Low block, inner block. Set. So 1, 2. And then net, front kick, same thing. Low block, inner block, front stance. Turn to your left. Front stance, high block. Now when you do your side kick hammer fist movement, as your right leg comes up, you're going to bring your right hand up from your waist to your left shoulder. And then from here, you'll throw a side kick and a side hammer fist strike. Land. And then the hammer fist hand stays out. Left elbow comes into the... Good. So when you do your elbow strike, you want the elbow part into the palm of your hand. So there's going to be fingers beyond the hand, beyond the elbow. Okay, so the impact of it should be into the palm of the hand, the elbow. Here. And it should be in a knife hand position. So we don't want to curl the hands around the elbow. We just come to it. Okay. And we're in a front stance position, right? So turn to your right, high block, hana. 1. And then once again, as you bring the left leg up, bring the left hand up by the right shoulder, and then do your side kick, side hammer fist. Keep your left hand out in front, and then right elbow into it. So, front stance here. Okay, and then turn to the back, low block, inner block, hana. 1, 2. Okay, so now this time from here, we're going to do the front kick, hana. So once you do the front kick, don't put it down. The higher you keep this knee, the greater your stomp's going to be. This is a stomp movement, not a jump movement. People think, oh, I have to jump. It's not that. It's actually a stomp. 1, stomp down into your back cross stance. Now, here's the key. Stomp, back fist, key up are all at once. Back foot follows after. So 1 here. Hiya! Okay. Your stomp foot should be at a 45-degree angle. And then the back foot comes into the back cross stance. Okay. Now when you finish, all you have to do from here is pivot on your toes, place down, and if your footing is right, then your feet are going to come right back to a Chumbi position. Okay. So the key to this is when you do your back cross stance at the end, you want to make sure that your toes are on the same line. So, right, your front toes are easy. The back toes, you want to make sure that your feet get crossed. So what we're trying to do is you're trying to get your calf muscles to cross to make an X. Okay? To make a good, strong X. So my big toe should be in line with my other big toe. So that when I pivot, 1, 2, it comes straight back to the Chumbi position without having to move any feet. It's just a pivot. Okay? All right. Let's work on that for just a little bit. Okay? So, Ojang. And then we'll move on to Chirjang or Yukjang, Chirjang, Parjang. Yep. 2. And it just gets a little, just kind of getting used to how much do I have to bring it in for this, right? 1, 2. 1, 2. Just takes practice. Your heel should not, if I'm looking, if I'm looking at you from here, right, I should see two heels, right? So this heel is on this line, this heel is adjacent.
It's like back stance, just shorter. Okay, so it doesn't have to be like if I'm here, this one doesn't have to be like.
No, that's wrong. Yes, it should not be here. If I'm looking at you this way, your heel should not be on the same line. Okay. So when you make that, you're going to go here for your front stance, right? All you have to do is bring this leg straight back. Because the tendency for a lot of people is to do this. They go here and they pull in like this, and that's why their footing's off. From here, you're going to notice from here, I'm just going to bring straight in. So 1, 2. That's the key. That's the hard. This is the hardest thing for everyone to do is once they go like here, they want to go in a straight line like this. So like if I start here, a lot of times when I turn, I stay on. You see how I'm staying on the line here? This is an incorrect front stance. Even though my feet look like they're in a good stance, it's incorrect. If I start here, when I turn here, I should be here because if I measure my chumbi stance here, right, I want to make sure that my foot for a front stance should be here. So when I start and I turn, I want to be here. That way, when I pull in, I have my spacing now. So one of the things that will help you is that whichever direction you face, you want to make sure that the toes of your feet are always that far apart. Okay, so if I'm doing a front stance, so my front stance should be, my toes should always be this far apart, even though my back foot is turned for the limb, or even walking stance here, same thing. I always want that spacing to be this wide, because in here, that's for back stance even. Back stance is the same thing. Okay. Left stance, same thing, or right stance, the same thing. So your spacing is always based on if I'm looking this way or this way, my feet should always be this far apart. When I'm looking this way, my feet should always be this far apart. When I'm looking this way, my feet should always be this far apart. They should never be on the same line. That'll help. Bring that from the belt. Yes. 1. Mm-hmm. 2. Yes. Mm-hmm. 2. There you go, sir. Huh? Not bad. Yeah, I think, and once again, for you, you just have to remember you've got long appendages, so your stances are going to be a little bit longer. So you're going to, instead of being like 4 feet on this, you want to be more almost 5. Exactly. Mm-hmm. Yep. Well, it's the same thing. It was what I was telling Riley is when you get ready from here to turn to this side, what you tend to do is you just tend to go here. So, and you notice how my toes are on the same line. All right. So my stance really is incorrect here. Okay. So what I want you to kind of imagine is that if I'm standing this way, all right, you see how my left foot is actually behind the line. Okay, so that's what I want to do. I want to get to that track. I want to get my left foot onto that track as if I were standing this way. So if I turn and I get on that track here, now I'm better aligned. So yes. So see right there now, and you're going to find when you start to do this, you're not going to feel as like off balance. Because a lot of times when you go here like this, do you feel like you're kind of falling to your backside? So that means it's just not wide enough. Hmm. Correct, correct, correct. Yeah, because really everything, every stance is designed based off of this starting position. Okay, so if we do walking stance, right? If we do walking stance, so let's say my right leg is the back leg, right? So I'm gonna adjust this to about 30 to 45 degrees, and I'm just gonna keep it on this line, this track here. So that's what my walking stance is supposed to be. Okay, that's how wide it should be, right? And no, my heels are not gonna. So if I bring this line up here, literally there's a fist width in between my feet. That's about how wide the footing is here. Okay. Right. And then so if I do my front stance, right, it's going to be the exact same position, just a little bit deeper. Right. And now if I'm doing back stance, even from back stance here, right? Yeah, because see what that does is it puts our heels adjacent to one another, basically. You see. So everything is based off of this positioning right here for your basic stances, your back stance, your front stance, and your walking stance. Tiger stance is going to be different. Yes. Yeah. Tiger stance is actually designed where you're in your moa sogi, your close stance. Right. Here. Yeah. Just bring that leg straight back. See, the tendency for a lot of people is they'll go from here. Let's say I go here. So I go here. And then what I'm going to do is, I need to get my leg this so that you see how I came off of that line. So a lot of people do this. You're not the only one. So what I encourage you, the hardest thing to do is from here, when you're on the line, is to go straight back on the line. Exactly. Yes, sir. Yep. No, they should never. If I'm standing facing you, I should be able to see both heels or both. I should be able to see this. A lot of times people go to here. So, yeah. Yes. And that's what we want to kind of avoid. We want to try to maintain this spacing here. So basically the 1 foot width in between the feet, and then just turn. And that's what my back stance should look like as I'm facing you. So you should be able to see, if I'm wearing shorts or whatever, you should be able to see both of my feet evenly versus here. Correct. You're just straight up. It's just a shorter version. So your back stance is 3 foot lengths with the knee bend, right? And the weight on the back leg. Your left stance or your right stance or your L stance is basically 2 feet deep and you're straight up like a walking stance. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So the other thing too is as you get ready to turn there, you want to make sure that you turn that right foot, because a lot of times you tend to do this as well, where you don't pivot. So you want to make sure you step behind and turn, so that as I'm looking at you, your opening on that back foot should be, about 30 to 45 degrees. There you go. Yes. Yep. So the way you think about this is, if I'm going into a walking stance or a front stance, anytime that I have to pivot, anytime that I'm turning, I have to pivot both feet. So I can't do a walking stance without turning both feet. I can turn this one because I know that the front foot always has to put straight, but a lot of times we forget about this foot. So if I'm turning into a walking stance, here, that's what I'm gonna do. If I'm turning into a front stance, same thing, just a little bit deeper. Now, if I'm going into a back stance, I stay right there, right? Yeah, no pivot. But walking stance, anytime you're turning into a walking stance or a front stance, you need to pivot both feet. Mm-hmm. Yes. And plus, once again, you can do that now, but the longer you do this, right, it starts to hurt the hips and the knees, right? Because there's a lot more friction there. Less friction here on the ball on the toes side. Yeah. Go. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Remember, every movement is supported by two hands. So whether if you're doing like a double knife hand or a guarding block, that's a dual hand, right? We're doing two things, right? Now, when we're doing a single block, it's still supported by the other hand, that reactionary force hand. Right. So the emphasis is here. This energy is important because the stronger this becomes, then the more energy we put into that low block. All right. Because a lot of times, people just do this, and that's okay. You can get away with it. You're male, strong upper body. You can get away with it. You can be a lot more stronger though if you use both hands. Or you. Yeah. And then come straight down. So you want your fist to be this way. Yeah. Because this is a collarbone strike, striking the collarbone. Yes. Mm-hmm. That's why we have it at the shoulder level, so that you're attacking that collarbone. Yes. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Yeah. Much better, sir. And you're probably I'm guaranteed you're going to feel a lot more balance. You're not going to feel like you're losing your balance or. And then same thing here. So you have to notice that when I'm back here after the first, so if I started on the line, right, I'm here for that second movement, I'm going to pivot on this foot. So if I'm pivoting on this foot and I'm going to this side, I have to actually bring that foot back a little bit further. So I'm kind of moving backward a little bit. Yeah, a lot of people think, oh, I started here. So when I'm here, I got to make sure that I stay on this line. All right. Yeah, so because right, from there, when you turn, because you're going to pivot on that left foot, right? So you want to get the left foot positioned, and then the right foot's got to adjust so that you get comfortable, right? So that we get this spacing again, right, sir? So the whole idea is try to, yeah, just maintain this spacing. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. I wouldn't say square your shoulders off, because a lot of times what happens when we start to square our shoulders off here is we're still going to fight gravity, because when we do that, we're kind of adjusting our balance piece. Our balance is based off of this and this being aligned. So see, right now, the way you're standing, your hips are angled, right? You have your left hip or your right hip's slightly forward than the left hip. So what happens when you do this now is when you square your shoulder off to balance, or to say, oh, I'm going to square my shoulder off, you're going to feel a tendency to kind of go to that side, because now the hip is trying to adjust. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Once again, I always like to say, keep the toes on two separate lines. Always keep the toes on two separate lines. So we never want to have the toes on the same line, except for in Paichang, your diamond stance, your Saturday Night Fever, John Travolta movement, right? That's a diamond stance, which is just an angled front stance. So it's like thinking, okay, I'm doing a front stance looking toward the corner. So if I'm looking toward the corner, then my feet are going to be on the same line. So your front stance is actually toward me, but as I look at you here, your feet are wide, right? But the reality is that from here, they're lined up. Okay. This is the only exception right here, right? Where your feet, this diamond stance and your horseshoeing stance are the only two stances, or your parallel stance, your chumbi stance, right? Close stance, right? Those four stances all going to be aligned where both feet are going to be in the same line. Yeah. Correct. Yeah. So, and the way, once again, you're gonna find you've got a habit that you've kind of developed, so it's gonna be kind of hard to break that habit. So what I would encourage you to do is, instead of trying to worry about all the hand techniques and everything like that, kind of focus a little bit just on the footwork for a while. Mm-hmm. Yes. Uh-huh. Okay. Yeah. And like I said, depending on if you're wanting to shoot for a February test or an April test, we're gonna, starting next week on Saturday, we'll have those additional training sessions on Saturdays. So, which really, it's good to kind of help focus you, on here. These are the things that we can really work on for you. It seems like, for all the people who have been kind of taking advantage of that training, as it's helped them in their preparation. So, because you can do it in class and so forth, but because of the fact, today is great because we can focus a lot on the things that you need to. But some classes, you have white belts, you have yellow belts, so it gets a little bit tough. So, well, yeah, I mean, that's the other thing too, I mean, so if we can kind of focus on a couple, because a lot of times I give you a ton of information and it's hard to remember everything. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Because that helped. I mean, that helps obviously pass time. I mean, I do that. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yes. Stay on the straight line. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. Oh, it's just like, whenever I say check it out for military, right? Yeah, that open, right? Yeah, it's hard. I mean, I get it. I understand. It took me a long time to break this habit of doing my low block this way, because I was brought up doing this to protect your block from a old school standpoint, right? Blocks are treated like you could use it as a strike. So if I put when you do a front kick toward me and I do my low block, right? I want to hit it hard. One, so I don't get kicked by you, but two, to also inflict damage if I can onto the side of your shin. Right. And so in order to do that, I have to protect my block, because if not, if I get struck here and my block is damaged, then can't do anything. So that's why we were taught here this way. Right? It's still the same concept of, every, two hands and so forth. But now it's more this motion that we're doing, which is more technical for the modern piece, right? It increases the speed motion. Right? It comes down quicker because it takes longer to get the hands up here to support, and then pulling them back down. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then once again, that's old school though too, right? It's just like, right? This is front stance in old school. Right? Yeah, it's wide and deep. But what? Right? Now I can reach you. I can really hit you, right? Think about me coming like this all the way in with all my energy into a real deep stance versus, right? Modern tells I just need to go to here, right? See, different mindsets, different philosophies and approaches from the old school versus the newer school. Right? Newer school is more scientifically based. Right? Shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. The shorter we can make that straight line, the faster our technique's going to be. So why would I want to try to punch you from here and go into a really deep front stance, right? When you're going to see it from a mile away, right? So let me just fake you out from here and then do my punch from here, shorter motion, right? And it's easier to move, right? When you're a more upright, shorter stance versus. Yeah, right. I know I'm throwing a whole bunch at you. So, but yeah, so starting next week on Saturdays at 11:30 for an hour. Yeah. So I'll send it out in email and everything. Where I've got a couple of people testing this weekend, so I won't be able to do anything this weekend. But starting next weekend, we'll get those extra sessions in there, and so. As once again, yeah. So that's obviously if your timetable is that you're wanting to do it in February, then you can certainly start taking advantage of that. If not, if you give yourself a little bit more time, you want to shoot for April, that's fine too. Once again, there's no pressure either way. It's totally up to you how you want to do it. And once again, it's just a little bit more detailed this time around versus because the thing is, right, the only thing you really had to learn is forms, a new form, no new kicks or anything like that. And then we're now cleaning everything up. Anything you want to do. The only stipulation is that whatever you do with your left leg, you have to do with the right leg. Whatever you do with your left hand, you have to do with the right hand. All right, so it's your choice. All right, because this can be wood this time. Yep. And then you're gonna practice kicking trees down outside. Just kidding. All right, well, let's finish up from here. All right, face flag. Chidit, Gyeongnam. And face me. Chidit, Gyeongnam. All right. Have a great weekend, everyone. We'll see you guys next week. All right, dismissed. Oh, go on. Mm-hmm. Deep, big movements. Yep. Yeah.